This is very exciting. Who would have thought in the year 2025 we'd be talking about Chris Weidman versus Anderson Silva 3, number 3, but it is happening under Queensberry rules. Boxing match, heavyweight pro bout going down Friday, November 14th, live and exclusively on Netflix. No paywall, no extra pay-per-view wall. So if you're a subscriber, once again, just like with Jake Tyson, just like with Serrano Taylor 3, Crawford Canelo, you'll get this fight card on Friday, November 14th from the Kaseya Center in Miami. The trilogy of a rivalry that was born in July of 2013, UFC 162. Chris Weidman shocking the world. He was a neophyte. I mean, no one expected him to win. No one expected him to get the title fight. He made it happen. I'll never forget it. Chris Weidman Day, I think July 17th, shortly thereafter. They celebrated him on Long Island. And then they had the rematch, and the rematch was big business. And that was in December of 2013. And you obviously know by now what transpired almost 12 years ago. We've gotten old here, my friends. Gruesome injury for one Anderson Silva. And then they didn't, they went their separate ways. And so then out of the blue, not that long ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, maybe 3 max, I think 2. We found out that the main card opener on November 14th in Miami is going to be Weidman versus Silva 3 in boxing. There it is. Kaseya Center, 8 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. in Brazil. Came out of nowhere. Chris Weidman, last MMA fight, UFC 310. Last MMA fight for Anderson was October of 2020. Actually, I believe it was Halloween night, if my memory serves me correct. But you'll recall that Anderson Silva was involved in a bout against Jake Paul back in 2022. That was his last boxing match. He did have a match against one Chael Sonnen on the Spaten fight night card. But that was more of like a dance type of situation. Definitely didn't get as crazy as the Vanderlei Silva fight that we saw. Yeah, that Uriah Hall fight was October 31st, Halloween night. So almost 5 years ago now. Time is flying. And Chris obviously left the UFC late last year. December 2024 was his last fight, UFC 310. And then we had heard that he had signed with GFL. That didn't really amount to much. He's been doing a great job on the UFC pay-per-view weigh-in show with Dan Helly, Laura Sanko, Daniel Cormier has really become a fixture there. They've really built it into a must-see component as far as the fight week library and menu, I would say, is concerned. But he's getting this opportunity. And, we had always heard some great stories about Chris Weidman's boxing background. I believe, and we can confirm this with him, I do believe he competed in some Golden Glove situation. And this was something that he was really into. And when he crossed over to MMA, he showed some nice hands. And so here we are, some almost 12 years after their second fight. And I'll never forget that one. They're meeting up again on this most valuable promotions card. Main event, of course, Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. Chris Weidman is 41. Anderson Silva is 50. Weidman's MMA record, 16-8. Anderson, 34-11. Arguably the greatest of all time. Still holds till this day, at least for now, the longest winning streak in UFC history. Merab is closely getting there. Others as well. But Merab's pace is just unbelievable. 4 title fights this year alone. 20 knockouts for Anderson Silva. 6 with Chris Weidman on his resume. 6 knockouts in MMA. This will be officially Weidman's boxing debut. Anderson 3-2 with 2 knockouts. Of course, the most famous boxing match on his resume, the fight against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. That was a big, big win for him and one that really propelled him into that Jake Paul fight. So it is the culmination of a feud that has spanned some 12 years. Who would have thunk it? Again, in November 14th, 2025, 12 years after they last fought, they will meet for a third and I presume final time. This time in the squared circle, Queensberry rules, pro heavyweight bout. It's Chris Weidman versus Anderson Silva 3, and wouldn't you know it, they are joining us right here and now on the Look at this. I mean, my God, my heart. It's a beautiful sight. Anderson, it's great to see you. Obrigado. Thank you for the time. Chris, it's great to see you as well. How are you? How are you guys? Look at this. This is amazing. Look at us. Look at this. This is incredible. Who would have thought? Chris, can I ask you? Can I ask you, because you haven't boxed yet, and this is kind of a new thing. We've seen Anderson with MVP. How did this come about? How did this get on your radar to fight Anderson on this card?
Well, the idea of me fighting Anderson in boxing, probably the first thought of it happened maybe like 2 years ago. I got a phone call from his manager. And she asked if I was interested. I was still in the UFC, so obviously that wasn't a thing. But it became a thought in the back of my mind as a possibility after, my career in the UFC is over. So it was kind of always there. And as far as this fight goes, I got a call from his manager again asking if I was interested in fighting Anderson. And she said there's a chance of fighting on this Netflix card with Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. And I was like, let's do it. That'd be fun. There's not too many people that I would really be interested in fighting other than Anderson. It's we have a good history. I have a lot of respect for him. I think, one of the best martial artists of our time, lifelong martial artist. And he's like a true challenge. I think he's an amazing boxer. I think he's underappreciated as a boxer. So I think it's an awesome challenge. And that's what I'd love to do, is compete against the best guys. So I love the opportunity.
Anderson, on your end, so it seems like your team reached out to him. Why? Why did you guys reach out? Why are you interested in doing this against Chris of all people?
Well, it's so interesting because the people asking about, you're interested to fight in a Jake, the next Jake fight in the same card, and say, yeah, I'm so interested, but so who's my opponent? I don't know. And I talked to Nakisa, and Nakisa say, I try to make the good fight make sense for the sport, you and Chris Weidman. And I say, wow, that's great, and it's a good challenge for us, especially for show the respect for boxing. Chris and I can do the good fight for the fans, for Netflix, and this is very good for us. It's amazing.
Yeah, no, it's a huge opportunity. For Chris, I mean, you last fought in the UFC December of 2024, so almost exactly a year ago. Obviously, we know about the GFL stuff, but you were still very much wanting to fight and be active. As far as boxing is concerned, I know it was always a part of your training, and I know when you first came into the UFC, we would hear about your great boxing training. Have you been training as of late, or did you have to pick it up and expedite things once this came together a couple of weeks ago?
No, I've been training in the gym. I've been trying to stay healthy and active, lifting and boxing and grappling, to kind of see. It was really grappling and boxing is kind of what I've been interested in post UFC, and particularly, a possible Anderson Silva fight, because I think that's a big fight that a lot of people want to see. And I think it's a great challenge. So that's kind of what I was looking forward to. And boxing really, I fell in love with boxing because of Anderson Silva. The first fight I had with him, it was really important to Ray Longo, my coach, that I felt confident standing up with him. So it was the first time when I was getting ready for that first fight with him that I would bring in professional boxers to spar with and just do boxing. And I really fell in love with it. I really do love boxing. And so it's funny, it just, how it becomes a full circle, and I'm back in here and we get an opportunity to box him.
Anderson, for you, you're now 50 years old. What is the motivation? Why still do this? You've done it all. You've proved it all.
The motivation is my family, my kids. The Khalil and Gabriel just push me hard every day. And I keep training with Gabe and Khalil, and Average and Junior. The Average is a gold medal in boxing, and I keep training with these kids, and I feel, I think I can do one more or two more fights in a high level, and that's my great motivation. God give me everything I have. I'm healthy, and I'm so happy to continue doing something I love.
Chris, am I crazy, or does he look the exact same as he looked back in 2013? I mean, this guy doesn't age, right? He looks the exact same.
I think I remember seeing some gray hair in his beard or something, or maybe on top of his head. Getting ready to fight. I'm like, look, he's old, but not anymore. It's gone. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I try to fix that. I promise. And when I'm done, I go to Marrocos to do something.
Oh yes, to get the hair back. And I think that's the extent of the trash talk here, because it feels like there's great respect and admiration between the two of you. But for you, Anderson, is there a personal element to this? Let's be honest. First fight, it doesn't go your way, you get stopped. Second fight, it ends with the gruesome injury. Do you feel like you need to get one on this guy? Do you feel like you need to beat him before it's all said and done in your career?
Ariel, listen, sports is a sport. In the time when Chris and I fight in UFC, Chris proved how can beat the champion at the time and do that. A lot of people say, "Oh, because the second fight maybe you win," but the truth is I'm lost. I broke my leg. It's fine, but this has happened. And I don't have this in my mind. Oh, I need you prove something and do this because Chris win the two fights. No, that's the new sport. Boxing is different. I already told that in the past. So boxing for me is so magic, and I need you show the respect I have for boxing people, and that's the boxing community. I don't try to prove nothing for anybody except showing my respect for boxing community.
Chris, you've been doing this a long time. You've been competing a long time, wrestling, MMA, but it's your boxing debut, so you're a rookie all over again. As we approach 2 weeks from fight night, are you getting those nerves, those feelings that you were getting at the beginning of your career because this is a new venture for you?
Nothing crazy. No, I mean, we're still pretty far out in my eyes. I'm just focused on every day, just trying to work as hard as I can every day and put myself in the best position. Super nervous or anything like that. It's fresh, it's new, it's exciting because it's different. And it's an avenue I haven't been down yet, and I've been watching boxing for a long time, and to have the opportunity to be on a card, especially on a Netflix card, and be able to fight a legend like Anderson Silva, it's just super exciting. Yeah, but not as far as nerves go. No, it's not like, oh my God, I've never done this before, and I feel like super uncomfortable. I feel like I'm going to be pretty comfortable in there, and yeah.
What about comparing how you're feeling now to how you felt in July and June of 2013 as you were about to face the greatest of all time and hoping to change your life? Like, can you take us back to that era in your life? At that point, you're somewhat unproven. There are some people who think, you're going to get steamrolled by this guy. What have you done to deserve this? Are you nervous back then? Are you anxious back then? What are those nights leading up to that fight?
Oh, it was, months and months of battling the demons of doubt. When you're going against Anderson Silva, in his prime, nobody had beaten him yet. And he was so good. You watch his highlights. You're watching a guy that we've never seen anything like that before. What he was able to do inside the octagon, he was so comfortable, putting down his hands, messing with people, letting people punch him, and he's just absorbing those hits so well, and then finishing fights against world-class fighters. So overcoming the doubts, not really within myself. You had the whole world that was doubting the idea of me being able to beat him. But it was a constant fight. with those fights and a lot of my fights as I was up and coming, it was beating those demons every day, winning those. When those negative thoughts would come into my head, I was constantly beating them out until there was positive in my mind. And it was a lot of work. It was a lot of mental work to walk into that octagon with that same confidence, because, you could do all that, mental work beforehand, but it all comes down to how you feel in the octagon. So it was really the same thing, making that walk, being in front of them, not putting them on too much of a pedestal, just not over respecting them, and going out there and believing in myself. And so it was an obstacle. It was a very hard obstacle, but I was a man on a mission. I had to win that belt.
One thing I've always kind of wanted to ask you, Anderson, about that night is, why did you act the way in which you did in the fight? And was it because you didn't respect him? Did you not think that he had the capability to knock you out? It was, that was kind of part of who you were back then, the dancing and all that, but this was a little bit magnified. Why did you do that? And do you regret it? I know it's been 12 years, but do you regret the way in which you approached
all
it?
my fighters, all my opponents I respect. When I fight with Chris, I don't do nothing different than my other fights, and Chris doing a good job. He stood in my movements and take the best shot and win the fight, but when people ask me about, so you don't think you don't respect your opponents? I say, no, I respect my opponents, but that's my style of fight. I can't change that. I change who I'm in, and I can't change that. And in the time Chris win and doing the good job.
When you see this, does this bother you?
I think
no, definitely not.
I was wondering, my production team put that up. I'm like, oh my God, Anderson's going to get
No.
This is no bother. Imagine how many guys I beat in a different situation. And, this has happened. That's I talk to my kids and I talk to my students too. So when you win, it's good. But you need to understand when you lose, because when you lose, you understand how your mind is prepared for the next challenge, and that's I keep doing my job. I don't think about that. I don't think about the fights I lose. I just try to make something better.
Chris, what did you want to say before I interrupted?
Oh, I was going to say with him putting his hands down and it's I don't take it as like he's disrespecting guy. It's on a different level. It makes guys feel so uncomfortable. He makes guys feel like, oh my God, this guy is so relaxed that he could put his hands down and mess with me in the middle of this cage with these small gloves on when anything could happen. And he did it for so long, and that's I think what made him great. How comfortable he was in there, that he could put his hands down. Now his punches are coming from different angles. You're getting angry, so you're punching more aggressively, which leaves yourself open for shots. And he did a great job. And when I would have all these sparring partners come in, and we would instruct them, hey, can you please put your hands down, talk trash, whatever, just try to infuriate me. And I did all right. It was completely fine. But I'll give him credit. Even though I won that fight, it was getting to me. It was uncomfortable when you see someone on the level of him put his hands down and make you feel that insecure, that he's that confident, that he could do that. In the second fight, obviously the leg break was awful and a terrible thing. But before that, I think he had and he could speak on this. In my mind, I felt he had so much backlash. I think especially from Brazil, for being knocked out while his hands were down, while he was taunting, that it kind of forced him to fight very traditional in the second fight with his hands up and like typical kickboxing. And I felt like it was easier for me to see things coming as opposed to when he was doing his thing and just free flowing and putting his hands down and all that stuff. Not that I want him doing that to me in boxing. So I just fight very traditional, but I'll give you that. I think it's way harder to fight a guy like that. And it's not like anybody could do that. You have to be a special talent to do that, but he could do it and he feels comfortable doing it. And I'll tell you, it's a problem.
Okay. So two things there for you, Anderson. Can you speak to that? Did you change your style because of the backlash in the second fight?
I think in the second fight, I'm just training more Muay Thai and wrestling, and I changed completely my style for the first fight. But you know, that's the crusade. It's easy to him to uh, putting your game inside the fight when you have the traditional fighter, training only two disciplines. That's easy. I think that's help Chris to win the fight. Of course, Chris working hard, and I working hard for the second fight too. But that's the game. That's the sport is so amazing because a lot of people think you the best, but you're not the best when you don't prove yourself how much you can beat yourself, not your opponent.
And so then what about the second fight, or I should say the third fight, this one, which is the first boxing fight of the trilogy? Do you think you will bring back some of those old Anderson moves? Will we see that version of you that we saw in the first, or will it be more like the second?
Ariel, listen, boxing is different. Boxing is a different sport. Boxing is not for everybody. Chris have a background in boxing too. And I think that's I try to keep training hard every day because I need you to respect the boxing community because it's not for everybody. It's not easy to come inside the ring and doing the same you do in the MMA. Of course, MMA is hard because you have the different disciplines, but boxing is very traditional. A lot of people die fight boxing, and I need to prove my respect for boxing community. That's I train hard every day. I train with the best guys and I go do my best.
Speaking of that boxing background, Chris, can you tell, for those that may not know, I do remember, didn't you do Golden Gloves or something like that? Or am I crazy for thinking this?
No, I never did Golden Gloves.
I was trying to prop you up. I was trying to give you some more.
Never competed in. I appreciate it. I would lie, but I try to be honest. Yeah, no, I've never competed in boxing before. Just a lot of sparring rounds with good high-level boxers throughout my career. And just to touch on what Anderson's saying as far as the respect for boxing, you have these professional boxers that come in and you watch them work, and it really is beautiful. I come from a wrestling background, and I have that same excitement when I watch really high level wrestling. It's really beautiful to me to watch. And you bring in these other boxers now, and that really just focus on that, and it's amazing. Their footwork, the way they're able to gauge distance, the way they're slipping punches kind of effortlessly, rolling really well. And I think Anderson is an MMA fighter that crossed over and really, you could see in his fights, he respects boxing. I'm not trying to just kiss his ass, but it's just true. He's the only boxer I can think of as an MMA fighter that crossed over. When you watch him, he looks like a really legit boxer. And I think it's to what he was saying. I think he really respects the game, and he puts the effort into, making sure he looks that way, and it shows.
One of the many iconic moments from your history happened the night before the second fight at the weigh-ins, the face-off. You guys may recall. Yes, this one. That's the one.
Yeah.
Just wondering, Chris, what are you thinking in this moment here as you guys go, face to face here?
Oh man, I was like, man, he's got nice lips. Love this guy. I mean, I'm sure Anderson felt the same. I didn't even realize our lips touched like that. We were in each other's face. We both did. You didn't know, right?
Yeah, I think it's so intensive. The Chris walking, I walking, and nobody step back. Just
yes.
The good things is the people think us is homophobics, but it's not. And that's the proof. The fighters not homophobics.
Yes, we'll kiss if we have to. I think it's just funny because we're like probably the same height, and we just got in each other's faces. We both decided not to put up our hands, so there's no barrier. Both of us weren't going to back up, and next thing you know, they got some good still shots of us looking like we're kissing. I get tagged in so many of those pictures on Valentine's Day. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, me too, buddy.
Yeah. That's funny.
Have you guys, Anderson? Have you seen Chris over the years? Like, have you run into him, or will this be the first time that you actually get to talk to him in person?
No, I talk to Chris when I have the same accident I have. I talk to him, but I think that's the second time, huh, Chris?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I don't think we bumped into each other in person since
No,
since
it's
our
talking
fights,
on the
right?
phone, huh?
Yeah, just the phone, but not in
So
person. Like shake hands, nothing.
No.
no, I haven't
Wow.
seen him since. But he looks the same. I think I got older looking, but he
No,
looks
you're the
great.
same, bro.
Yeah,
It's
thank you. A little
unbelievable.
pudgy in the face, but yeah, no, it's gonna be cool, to see him and everything. I mean, we have so much history, but yeah, it's gonna be cool. And oh yeah, just again, he's talking about the phone call we had. So after I break my leg in half, who else can I call besides the only person I knew that ever had the same thing happen to him? So I called Anderson, and man, I was in a low place, and he really helped me. I don't know if he realized. I told him how helpful it was, but I don't know if he realized it. But it was a tough spot. I didn't even know if I was going to be able to walk again, let alone play with my kids. It was tough when I called him, and he was so optimistic and positive for me, and it really was a boost of energy that I needed at that time. And so I'm super thankful for that.
Wow.
And we did a podcast. He came
Yeah.
on my podcast.
I remember
too,
that.
which was awesome.
It was
Yeah.
unbelievable. Can I ask you, Anderson, what do you remember what you thought when it was so crazy to see Chris suffer the same type of injury that you suffered against him?
My kids watching the fight, when the kids just come into my room and just come to talk to me and say, "Dad, you see what happened?" And say, what the fuck? What happened? And Chris broke the leg too. And say, "What? I don't believe it." And when the kids show me the video, I say, "Oh my God." And somebody call me and say, "Oh, you can talk to Chris." I say, "Of course, absolutely." And because the hard moment in for us is when this happened, you don't know you come back to walking normal. You don't know you come back to fight again. And it's very tough. It's very tough.
Do you remember anything that you said to him in that moment? Like, here he is, the guy who beat you twice.
Yeah, I remember. I just say, "Chris, now it's time to stay with the family, stay with the people you really trust, and the people you help you, and your family, and take your time, because that injury is timing. You can do nothing fast because it's hard. It's
Yeah.
hard to recover."
Chris, are you going to have
Very
the same
terrible.
characters
Yeah.
in your corner? Are we going to have Ray Longo, Matt Serra, the same dudes that you were with for so many years?
So Ray Longo is going to be in my corner, and then Jeff Jimmo. You get two corners, and then you get a cut guy. So Longo and Jeff Jimmo, who trains with me out here, he owns a gym called Jimmo. So those are the two guys going to be in my corner.
Okay. And for you, Anderson, is it I know you've been asked this question a lot over the years. Is it possible this is the last one?
No, man, come on. No, definitely not.
No. Okay.
No.
What age are we going to?
I don't know. That is tough. It's tough question, because I feel I can do this eternity. I don't know. I keep doing, when God give me the whole thing I have, my energy, my healthy body, I keep doing. I have my business, I have my different work, but I keep doing something I love to do.
What about for you, Chris? Is it possible this is the last one?
I don't think so. I think I really am loving this boxing training. We'll see how I feel in there, but as of right now, I'm thinking maybe this one, maybe another. It's fun, So I don't know. We'll see.
And this is a heavyweight fight. How much do you expect to weigh, Chris?
It's 205 is the weight class.
Okay, so that's the cap on it, okay? All right, interesting.
Yeah, 205 is the weight, I think, yeah.
So that's sort of like a catch weight.
Not too much. Yeah, I think, so I didn't have to cut too much weight. I don't think he had a problem with it. I just said 205 sounds good. I weigh like 215, so it's not too bad.
What about for you, Anderson? How much do you...
Nah, for me, it's hard because I can't eat a lot, normally I walk in 189, 188, it's hard to eat a lot, but it's okay.
Is this
really? You're naturally walking around 188, 189.
189, 188.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm a skinny guy. My mom is skinny, my dad is skinny. I just, I try to keep workout, and I keep eat a lot, but I can't because it's terrible for me.
So will you be dramatically under 205? Like how much do you expect to weigh? Will you be in the like the low 90s?
I don't know. Now I'm just when I quanto que eu pesei hoje, Calil? Eight, 9 kilos. 9 kilos.
89.
89 kilos.
Let's
Yeah.
see, 89.
What is that? 90? I'm 195 or something.
196.
196.
Yeah, 196.
Okay, so you'll be a little bit under, but that doesn't really matter to you.
Yeah, I keep training with the guys, and because for me the best one is 180. 180 is good because that's the normal weight I fight. But is a good challenge for me.
We'll wrap this up in a moment, guys. This has been a lot of fun. Go ahead, Chris.
Oh no, I was gonna say I think boxing. Like I've been sparring guys who fight at 175, and the speed. I think speed is everything in boxing. So I don't think weight is as big of an indicator,
right?
As opposed to like MMA. I think weight with wrestling and everything really does matter. But with boxing, I don't think it's too much of an issue.
Is this somewhat surreal for you, Chris? Like here you are, you're talking about an Anderson Silva fight 12 years after it changed your life. It's kind of surreal for me, I'll be honest, and I have nothing to do with it. I'm just talking to you guys, but it just brings back a lot of these memories and these moments and all these emotions. And it was such a life-changing moment for you. Is any of that coming back here?
Oh man, it's definitely surreal. It is surreal. Anderson changed my life. He gave me the opportunity to fight for that belt. I made the best of it, and it changed my life forever. So I owe him a lot, and so that's why a part of it. I get a phone call to fight Anderson Silva. There's no way I'm turning it down. I respect him a lot, and I'm going to go in there and give my best. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And just to share that boxing ring with him is going to be tons of fun.
What about you, Anderson? How does it end? Tell us. What do you think? November 14th. What do you feel?
I'm so happy to do that. Especially because the people think about us when you finish your career inside the UFC, you can't fight anymore. A lot of people say that, because old, because this and that, but it's not. I think Chris and I prove it's not this game to change your life when you love something. I keep training hard every day. I keep doing my best. I help Khalil to train in jiu-jitsu. I help Gabriel when he fight kickboxing, when I fight boxing. And I think that's the next level for us, for Chris and I, and the people need to respect that.
It's like we're back to 2013, Chris. You're a pretty big dog here. Plus 250. He's a minus 290 on some. So they're not respecting you again. It's like we've gone all the way back to the beginning.
I am not surprised. I thought it would be worse than that, to be honest. I mean, I've never boxed before. People have me as a wrestler. And Anderson, I don't think he deserves. I don't think he gets enough credit as like how good of a boxer he is. He's a very clean, crisp boxer. He looks great. So I am not surprised. There's a lot of unknowns with me, so I'm not blown away with that at all.
So no bad blood, no trash talk. It's all love and respect between the two of you. You've come a very long way in that regard. There's nothing mean you could say about each other. There's nothing you want to say to spice it up.
Ariel, imagine one thing, bro. Chris and I need to doing something very, very good for the community, for boxing, see us can boxing, in the MMA community, keep doing your own job and see, Chris can do that, I can do that. Anderson do that, I can do that. Because a lot of people think, when you lost your career or you finish your career in MMA, you can't fight anymore. But that's not the truth, because imagine how hard is you doing the whole transition for boxing, because it's different sport. And Chris and I try to prove that for everybody, It's possible. You love something, you love your job, you love fighting, keep doing.
Amen. I can't wait for this. What an honor this has been. Really, a great privilege. Thank you to the both of you. Good luck in the final days of training. I'm honored that I'm going to get to be a part of it. All these boxing people are going to be on the broadcast, but you'll have one of your own there too. I'll be there with the microphone as well. So it's a huge, huge honor for me to be a part of it too. Thank you so much, Anderson. All the best to you. Looking forward to seeing you out there in Miami. Chris, as always, thank you so much for the time. Looking forward to it. Both of you guys, you're legends in your own right, and it was so great to do this. So thank you both. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, my brother. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
All right,
Bye,
good
guys.
seeing you, Anderson. Yeah, good luck.
Bye. Good to see you, bro.
Bye-bye.
Amazing. There they are. Anderson Silva, Chris Weidman. Number 3. Should we call it 3 or is it 1? I never know what to say when it's like the third or the second, but it's in a different sport. We dealt with this when Pereira and Izzy fought. They fought multiple times in kickboxing, but then it was the first. So what is it, guys? Is it 3 or is it 1? What are we doing here?
I think it does not get the 3, but you can still call it a trilogy. Is
I
that
think
fair?
it's the 3. I think it's
Nah,
the 3
it's not the 3.
because it's under different rules.
Sports,
Different.
I like the
sports,
3.
different rules.
I'm
No,
cool
no.
with
It's not 3. It's not 3.
It's the third time they compete against each other.
Yes, you could say that. You could call it a trilogy. You can't put the 3 on the poster.
Alex
you can't.
Izzy 4.
4. Yeah.
Nah.
I kind of.
Nope.
You know why I like
Veto.
the 3? From a promotional standpoint, it makes it feel bigger.
No, you just call it the trilogy. It's a trilogy.
Except it isn't a rubber match.
It's
It is-
2-0. It's the rare third one when the other guy is 2-0.
Yeah.
Although the second one was a little, inconclusive. Where did you watch the second one, GC? Where were you?
Actually, I was having to stay with my grandparents. My parents were on vacation. I was only 4 years old when that.
Stop. You weren't.
I was
Serious?
in college somewhere, bro.
Okay, holy shit. For a second, I thought you were being serious.
Oh man.
Okay.
You always love to be like, you were in your father's nutsack.
That was the other. I was literally about to say it right after.
So much ice I could skate on it.
So much. Rick, were you at 1? Am I crazy?
1?
Were you at Anderson Chris 1?
No,
Not
I was
UFC
not.
1.
I was.
Why do I feel like you were there? Maybe I'm thinking of UFC 189 or something like that.
I was at UFC 189. I was not at that one.
Well, what did you think? You were a New York guy, one of your own. I mean, he was.
I was a Silva guy. Come on.
You were a Silva guy.
Oh, I'm a Silva guy through
This is
and through.
By the way, this fight was so long ago. It's pre Rick on the MMA Hour long ago.
Silva was my GOAT until John Jones came along. Like Silva was my guy of all guys. I was at UFC 101 watching Silva dismantle Forrest Griffin. It was the highlight of my life. BJ Penn also on that card against Kenny Florian, and the Silva one was the one I was really there for.
You know what? I misspoke. I'm thinking Chris's debut was
I was gonna say
10, 11,
this like
but
early
13
2010s?
you were a part of the team. 13 you were a part of the team.
Yeah, that Silva was my guy, 1,000%. I've always been a Silva. Look, I love Chris Weidman, New York's own.
Wow, this is
Shout
crazy.
out. But Anderson Silva is the man.
I will never forget the second fight. 2 things I'll never forget. December 28th, 2013. I'll never forget because I was working for Fox. I've told the story before. I'm the backstage reporter. I would always watch the fights. I would never watch the fights in the arena. I would watch them on tiny monitors in the back because then the guys would come in the back and it was just easier to do it that way. Fight ends. Chris is still in the cage getting interviewed, reacting to it all, and they are rushing Anderson to the hospital. He's on the stretcher. They are rushing him, and I'll never forget the yells, the screeches, the screams, because he was in so much pain. His leg snapped, and it was right by me, and it was surreal. I couldn't believe it. I mean, talk about a fight that ended unceremoniously. It was awful. It was absolutely awful that it ended that way.
What made it crazier is just also like Anderson Silva has always felt invincible.
Absolutely.
Like that is the word
The
I would
knockout
describe
was shocking,
him.
right? And then this.
The knockout was shocking, but he just always felt like he could not, as Chris said, like mentally, he's messing with people by fighting the way he fights. He always felt like he just could not be touched. He was invincible, and to see him in that state was crazy.
Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us. Also, give us a thumbs up, leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. And while you're here, do check out the rest of the channel. We've got live shows and full interviews, clips, and a whole lot more. We're doing big things here, and we appreciate your support very much.